Hello friends, I hope you are all well, but it is very difficult living life with IBS. I know. So let's start. So today I will discuss that why IBS happens to us. So there are a lot of rumors about IBS. Some people say, or some doctors say, that living a uncontrolled life leads to IBS. Like sleep, sleep uncontrollably, like you sleep late and you don't sleep enough, you can develop IBS. Or if you take food untimely, you can develop IBS for the long time. Okay, masturbation can lead to IBS. These all are actually saying doctors, not I am saying it. And stress. Okay, so stress is not responsible for IBS, because 99% people suffer from IBS because they took a long stress in their life before IBS developed. Okay, so this doesn't mean that stress is responsible for IBS. Okay, so first we have to understand that which system in our body operate our digestion. Okay, operate our digestion, operate our respiration, operate our heart rate. So this is nervous system, and we have two nervous system. One is central nervous system, which is our brain and our spinal cord, and we have peripheral nervous system, which has two division. One is involuntary or somatic nervous system, and another is autonomic nervous system or voluntary nervous system. And this autonomic nervous system operate our digestion, and this autonomic nervous system has two division as well. One is parasympathetic nervous system, which is called our rest and digest nervous system, and second is our sympathetic nervous system, which is called our fight and flight response. And number three is ENS or enteric nervous system, which is very important. And this ENS control our digestion, operate our digestion. There is a important message that when your parasympathetic nervous system will switch on, you will stay in ENS, enteric nervous system switch on, which means you have smooth digestion. There will be no problem in your digestion. But when the sympathetic nervous system will be switched on, there will be no digestion, which means your enteric nervous system will not be switched on. I think you have got it. So okay, now we'll explain that why now I will explain in what happened in normal people. Okay, most of the time we have our parasympathetic nervous system, which is our normal nervous system, stay always switch on, so there is no problem in digestion at the time. But in emergency situation, in a stressful situation, in danger situation, I will give two example. One is physical, one is psychological. Physical example is when you face a tiger, or incidentally a tiger in front of you, you have two options. Either you have to fight with the tiger, either you have to escape from the tiger. So there is two options. This is called fight and flight. Fight means you have to fight, flight means you have to escape. I will request you to just research that what is the mechanism of sympathetic nervous system, what is the mechanism of parasympathetic nervous system. Just go to online, just go to internet and just search about it. Okay, so when you have some physical symptom as well as some psychological symptoms, your sympathetic nervous system switch on. Okay, what is psychological example? Like you are going to give an public speech, so you feel stress, you feel difficulties, so that time your sympathetic nervous system became very active or became switch on. Okay, so it is all about normal people, healthy people. Okay, fit people. Now what happens to IBS patients? If you if you research something about IBS, you will find that this disease is found in 1820, but the term irritable bowel syndrome was given in 1944. But I think it's not a disease that was found in 1820. I think it's from the first man because it's genetic disorder. Okay, I will not explain it. I will explain that why IBS happens to some people. So we have our autonomic nervous system, but IBS patient has weak autonomic system. So how will you know you have weak autonomic nervous system? You will have two characteristics. One is you will be emotional and you will be sensitive. If you ask your father or mother, you will find that either your mother or father, any of one is emotional or sensitive. And I found that many people has IBS, and also his father or mother one has IBS. So it's a genetical disorder. So when we have weak autonomic nervous system, our nervous system is stuck in sympathetic state. So when our nervous system will stuck in sympathetic state, we will have no digestion. Okay, so now I will explain some how actually our sympathetic nervous system switch on. So it switches on by a hormonal changes. Okay, so when our body see when our body sees a stress or danger, a cortex in our brain which is called amygdala send a signal to our hypothalamus. Okay, so our hypothalamus produce a hormone which is corticotropin, which sends a signal to our pituitary gland, and then our pituitary gland sends produce a corticotropin releasing hormone, and then send a signal to our adrenal gland, which are on our top of kidney, triangle size to gland which produce cortisol, and in this way our sympathetic nervous system is switched on. So everybody knows that when our sympathetic nervous system is switched on, there will be no dilation. Okay, now I will explain some symptoms. Like when you have IBS, most of the people, 100% people almost face insomnia problem. So why insomnia problem happens? It's just because our pineal gland produces melatonin, which is responsible for our sleep, cannot be produced when you have IBS. Okay, so I will explain it. Hypothalamus and pituitary gland are responsible for cortisol production, which switches on our sympathetic nervous system, and these two systems also responsible for melatonin production. So when our body produces a hormone cortisol continuously, our body cannot produce melatonin. So if you can't produce melatonin, you will have a sleep problem. Okay, now I'll explain some psychological symptoms. Why you feel low confidence? Okay, confidence is responsible for the hormone serotonin. Okay, and serotonin is produced from pineal gland. As I said earlier, that if you can't produce melatonin, you can't produce serotonin, because these all are produced from pineal gland. Okay, and you will feel nervousness, overthinking, fear, which is responsible for excessive cortisol and adrenaline production. You have to research about it. I will now explain very important thing, panic attack. Why panic attack happens? Panic attack happens when you have no life threatening situation, but your sympathetic nervous system or your fight and flight mode is switch on. You face panic attack. So now and social phobia. Okay, oxytocin is the responsible for this hormone. Okay, and this oxytocin also produced from our hypothalamus. Okay, and pituitary gland. Now I will explain some important hormone in IBS, which is good hormone and bad hormone. Two bad hormone is cortisol and adrenaline, which is responsible for negative thoughts, overthinking, fear. And good hormone is serotonin, which is responsible for low confidence. Deficiency of serotonin is responsible for low confidence. Melatonin, dopamine. Melatonin is the responsible for sleep disturbance. Deficiency of melatonin. Oxytocin is the responsible for social phobia. Okay, so I think you have to research about it. Okay, what I am saying, don't believe that. You have to research first, then believe me. Okay, today's video is from this, that I am explaining that when your sympathetic nervous system will switch on or you will stuck in the sympathetic nervous system, utilization will not happen and you will suffer IBS symptoms: diarrhea, constipation, abdominal pain, bloating, excessive gas. Okay, thank you. I think you understand. If you don't understand, I will start to make follow-up video. Okay, thank you everybody.